I'm Joe Macdonagh. I'm a personal trainer, powerlifting coach, strength and conditioning. I started as just a personal trainer like everybody else back in 2019. Before that, I played rugby for a long time. I was never really a gym guy until I started working in gyms, and then kind of evolved from there.
What inspired you to become a personal trainer?
Um, I think the desire to help people was really the biggest one. I found that I was good at it, like being personable and working with people and things like that. I went to school for social work, so when those jobs didn't really work out for me there, I started going from the mental health space to the physical health space. It was very translatable as far as skills go.
What areas of fitness or types of training do you specialize in?
I specialize in powerlifting for sure. That's the big one there. I also specialize in functional movement. General strength and conditioning for sports. I specialize as well. General purpose fitness. Your regular average stuff. Everything from as high up on the food chain as possible to just starting out for the first time.
How would you describe your training style and approach to working with clients?
I really take the personal aspect into it. I don't like cookie cutter programs. I don't like, the tried and true I don't like, very skeleton, very template. I really like to personalize the experience for people. So I'll take my knowledge and I'll take my skills and see where they apply to the person in front of me, and not just because that's what the textbook says.
What brought you to Apex?
Mike did, actually. Big Mike. He brought me out. He said, "Come check out the place out," and the environment was just top notch. At that point, I was always looking for a powerlifting gym to train at. There wasn't any around, except for obviously Apex, and just kind of stuck from there. Everybody was cool. Everybody was fun. Nobody was, big ego or put you down. Everybody was there to help, and it just kind of spiraled from there.
Can you share a memorable success story of a client you've worked with?
I work with a lot of people who start out for the first time, beginners and whatnot, and I was working for somebody for a long time who was never really a big fan of gym settings, gym spaces, very anxious and stuff like that. And, like a 10-pound dumbbell was frightening to them, and over the years, got them able to, stand under a barbell and squat their body weight. I think that was one of the memorable ones, mostly because of the person itself, themselves, having them kind of not feel like they would be able to do this at some point in their lives, and them watching them do it after was just top notch from there. The powerlifting stuff, like as a powerlifting coach, watching my athletes kind of podium, and I've had a few podium and take home some medals, which was pretty cool. Because you always think, as a coach, you always think that, am I good enough? Am I doing this right? Am I doing the right things for my athletes? And then you see them go to meets, go 9 for 9, take home some medals, and you're like, okay, yeah, that's sick.
How do you measure success with your clients?
Wins that matter to them. I track a lot of stats and variables through my programming and whatnot, but it's just little things. Like I woke up in the morning and my shoulder didn't hurt, or I lost 5 pounds over the last 6 months. Like those little things I like to celebrate more. I think things like, winning meets and things like that they're great, but they're not the be all. It's the day-to-day stuff that people will hold on to more because they happen more often.
What motivates you as a personal trainer?
I think just to be useful. I think that's my big thing personally, is I just want to be useful to somebody. I don't want to feel like I'm just sitting on my hands all the time. Like I want to get up and, share knowledge, share wisdom, share skills, teach somebody something, and let them learn from it, and kind of maybe inspire them to teach somebody else, or just be generally successful with it.
How do you customize your training sessions to meet individual client needs?
I guess it just depends on them, right? What they need, what they want. Do they want a quiet space? Do they want to be off in the corner? Do they want to be in the center with everybody else? Are they injured? Are they training for a weightlifting competition? Are they trying to climb the stairs in their house so they don't feel like they're 65 and aging. I just try to be adaptable. I think that would be the best way to put that, is just not really go with the flow, come up with a plan, but also be willing to change at the drop of a hat.
What challenges do you commonly see clients face, and how do you help them overcome these challenges?
In my experience, it's definitely in their heads. I think what I like to say, right between the ears. I think a lot of clients and athletes could be more successful if they didn't dwell on the things that they perceive themselves to be weak or less than adequate at. I think where I thrive is in that space of just being, a confidence boost or somebody encouraging to somebody else, just to, make the small things matter.
How do you incorporate nutrition guidance into your training programs?
I offer, a lot of, guidelines and stuff. I don't write meal plans, unfortunately, but I will definitely help with, diet choices, macro tracking, weight tracking, things like that. I think that's easier because I don't like pigeonholing people into a very strict diet plan. I like people to eat what they want to eat, drink what they want to drink, but make sure it, fits their goals and kind of where they're going and things like that.
Do you provide advice on lifestyle changes outside of the gym?
Absolutely. That's like one of the big things is like you spend maybe a couple hours a week in a gym, but the rest of the time you're out of it. So like, absolutely. That's such a big part of it.
What is your favorite exercise or workout routine?
Squats. Give me squats all day.
If you could train any celebrity, who would it be and why?
Oh God. Jason David Frank. That's his now, Tommy. Tommy's is who he is. Like that's his character. Anyways, Jason David Frank. That's who I would do.
What are your professional goals as a personal trainer?
I just want to grow, I guess. I think the big thing is like, I always want to be kind of stepping up and leveling up, and I don't care to be like the best coach in the world. I want to be a good coach, but I don't want to be like the one that everybody, I don't want to be put on that pedestal, but I just want to be, successful for my clients and kind of just grow with them, I guess.
How do you see the fitness industry evolving, and how do you plan to stay at the forefront?
I think, okay, yeah. So I think the fitness industry is evolving into more of like an online, like remote, like service, with people, back in the COVID days having home gyms and working in those spaces. There's not really a big need for in-person training, and a lot of the big box gyms, big franchise gyms are charging a lot of money for in-person training now. So I think adapting more to like a remote, like a hybrid system would be beneficial for me and a lot of other professionals in the field. I think educating as well. I think instead of doing like, one-on-one like personal training, I think like educating like mass groups of people at a time would be somewhere I'd want to evolve to keep up with the times.